welcome back to the Digital Den. We are back for our football coaches show with, once again, victorious Coach Markasbury. So, Coach, a phenomenal win and a very exciting game, probably our most exciting of the year. So go ahead and take it away. What are your thoughts?
We beat a really good team. Henry was very experienced, and it was a really good win. A lot of it shows the growth in our team. Probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, we probably wouldn't have been able to pull that off, but just kids continue to fight, and we've got our system in place and everything like that. And it shows a lot of growth and maturity from our team. And then again, it was Henry County was a very motivated, very hungry, very experienced and talented team that knew that was a game that they needed to win to make sure that they could secure their spot in the playoffs. And so we got their best shot, and we
survived.
We took care of business, and it just a huge win for our team.
Oh yeah, and this was. Everybody, it seemed like, had a huge game individually, and you needed it. You needed every bit of help you could get. I mean, Jarrett Stewart, that is the game that we just wanted to see him break. And can we get a confirmation? Was that a school record in passing yards?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it was 176. I think it's up there.
Gabe had one last year where he was up in the high 100s.
Yeah.
I just don't know where it was for sure.
And then Brady Smith on both sides of the ball, getting that game-clinching interception at the end. Kellen, of course, with his 3. And then the guy who, rumor has it, is going to be put on T-shirts here soon. Drew Barron in the fourth quarter, 3 catches, 65 yards, and that touchdown that eventually put him away. What can you say about all of those guys, all of those moments? What does that make you feel as a coach?
Well, it's the process, and it's just you go out there as a team and you try to put the kids in the best position to be successful and give them opportunities. And, we did that. There were some things that Henry County was doing that was really making it tough sledding for us to run the ball. We were able to run it enough, and that just allowed us to get our play action game. But everything just has to tie together, because even like me as a coach, the first touchdown we had for Kellen, when he split the 2 safeties and caught you would sit there and say, well, just run that every play because they can't cover it, which they can't. But you also have to understand the defense is trying to get to your quarterback, so you have to make sure you protect the quarterback, because if it's a blitz or there's a lot of variables that go into that. You don't want your quarterback getting hit while you're trying to throw that every time. But there was just it was great. And then as the game went on, we were running it enough. We were hitting them over the middle with our play action game because their backers were so tight. And then all of a sudden at the end of the game, we kind of went to our quick game to where 1, 2, 3 and get rid of the ball. And that's where it's just a little bitty thing that we did. We had Drew and Kellen in the slot. Kellen was in the slot and Drew was at wide, and we just ran Kellen through the zone. The backer chased him, the safety stayed with him, and the corner was staying outside, and it just left Drew wide open in the middle of the field. And we didn't really know it was going to open up that much, but it's just kind of run a decoy through there, and everybody runs with him, and then Drew just comes right underneath wide open. And then Jarrett made perfect passes to where he could catch the ball on the run, and some good stuff. That's the way it's supposed to work. And then Jarrett was engaged in the game. He was locked into the game. He stayed positive the whole game, and actually he was even trying to keep the head coach calm, because there's some times that I was questioning some things that the referees were calling out there. But no, it was a really, really good night, and some kids making plays all over the field.
Oh yeah.
Ethan Hampton had 2
huge returns.
2 huge returns, and huge returns, and then you get to the sideline over there on those returns, and you got Brady, Kellen, Drew, and whoever else over there blocking for him as he's trying to get those returns, and those were big.
Those were huge returns.
Yeah, we go down 21-17. And we get a nice return out to midfield, They call offsetting penalties, make them kick it again, and then he gets an even better return the second time.
In the short side of the field, yeah.
Yeah, so it was good. It was good stuff. But no, I mean, just a lot of plays being made out there defensively, and yeah, it was a really really good win for our team.
Yeah, and you touched on that passing game. Let's just dive into that. That is, I've been rooting for Jarrett all year. I've been wanting to see that kid have a game. And when you say had a game, that's an understatement. He had an amazing game from start to finish. Opens it up with a touchdown pass. Opens it up, and he hit Eric, Brady, Drew, Kellen. He was hitting everybody over the field. Is that what we've been waiting for, or is there still more to come?
Well, I mean, you can go out there and ask Jared right now what makes throwing the ball easier, and he's going to tell you running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you run the ball, that makes throwing the ball a whole lot easier. And again, I said it after the game that we tried to do it in reverse order earlier in the year. We decided we were going to throw the ball and then run it. And that is not, absolutely 100% not a recipe for success. You have to run the ball. And you don't even have, like the other night, we had 137 yards rushing, I think, on 36 carries or something like that. It's not even how well you run it. It's not like we're gashing them on every play, but it's the fact that they have to honor it because they know that at any point in time that Kellen can get loose, or Brody Phelps can get loose, or Danny can get loose, or whatever, and it's just one of those things because so now they have to honor it, and then when they do that, you just fake the ball, and then everybody's coming forward, and then there's just huge holes in the secondary, and it's just it's growth as a team and growth as a quarterback and our receivers. And one thing about it, I said last week is we were tested physically by some really good teams. We were tested mentally by having to deal with some losing. And that made us better. And then all of a sudden you inject confidence in them against Western Hills, and boom, there you go. I mean, it's the kids. I mean, they do it. But it's just when you throw the confidence thing in there, and it's just, I mean, again, we would have never been able to do that 3 or 4 weeks ago. They would have let Henry County score, and they wouldn't have been able to, bounce back and do that. But they did. That's the growth of a team.
So let's talk about more of that maturity as a team. This is yet again another come-from-behind victory. We had one against Fairdale. It's not huge comebacks, but you still get down late in the ball game. You come get that win. Has the locker room shifted from week one and the mindset and the approach, or is it still that same team that's just gotten better, gotten the experience?
Well, I mean, they're just. I mean, I guess it's a coaching, coach speak or whatever. But I mean, they just grow. I mean, and I'll even go back to somebody like Jacob Biller when we played Fairdale, and he snapped the ball over the punter's head. For 4 plays after that, he was just out of it because he let one play, and now he makes really good plays, but he understands that, okay, not everybody's going to be perfect every play. So when something does happen, you just pick yourself up and you move on. And that's just, and as a team, Brady Smith, the other night, look, he had some tough. He got beat on a Fox screen that it shouldn't have happened. It just put us in some bad spots. But you just keep saying, hey, learn from it, and boom, then next thing you know, he makes a play, and it's just growth as a team. It's growth as kids believing in it and understanding things, and there's no doubt. I was talking to Coach Deal, who knows the Henry County staff really well, and he thinks one thing that probably hurts them a little bit is their early season schedule. They weren't challenged really well, too much, and then they got in a game out here, and we had been, so it kind of helped us out. But no, it's just the locker room's good, and the kids believe in each other, and we still have, because honestly our defense didn't play up to what we expected last week, but they played well enough, and that's what has to happen. I mean, they're not going to play perfect every time, and the offense stepped up and made some plays, and once you put the passing game in with that, because we have weapons, once you get the passing game Our offensive line has developed where they can protect our quarterback. Our running backs are showing growth and running the ball. Brody Phelps and Ethan Hampton and Danny and all those guys are showing growth to where, okay, you have to honor them when we hand them the ball. And it's not like they're getting 20 or 30-yard gains, those guys, but hey, 5, 6, 7 yards and just keeps plugging along. So, it's good to see. I mean, that's what you want to see as a coach.
Yeah. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about it and just kind of getting a little overwhelmed when I remember how many people made plays. And you don't want to single out players. You want to remember that it's a team win. But there's one play I want to bring up was a big third down conversion from Eric Henry. And you said you were going to get him involved, and he makes that huge play. And you love to see somebody who doesn't have to get ready. They just make the play, even when the usage has not been as high. What can you say about him? Just what has he been doing that made you trust him in that moment?
Well, I mean, first of all, you can go to practice, and when you go to practice, he is always catching balls from Jared. So, like when we're in a defensive period or something like that, you'll see them on the side. And I mean, look, it's just simple stuff like being 15 yards apart and just getting multiple catches in, and it's just. But and we put ourselves behind a little bit, and I sometimes want to kick myself in the butt because we were a little bit slow getting to this process because we put ourselves behind 3 games when we were trying to do things that we should have just been who we were. But now we're finally catching up, and no, he's a weapon. So now you got a 6'5" kid going across the middle that can catch the ball, and then we can switch routes and have Kellen come across and have him go down the middle. I mean, the other night we had the little play where we kind of hide Brady, and then he comes out of the backfield on a wheel route down the sidelines, and Jared made a phenomenal throw and a catch and all that. But I will say this, and I told our principal this morning. Very, very fortunate that we have players that make plays and everything, and I've probably never done a good job, but I can tell you that our coaching staff is phenomenal. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about those coaches in that coaching office are phenomenal. And I'll give you a perfect example was the other night. We went in and we had ran reverse to Kellen twice in the first half. And we thought it was going to be a big play, but they had stopped us for basically no gain.
Yeah.
And the reason they had done that is we had a Mike linebacker that every time Jace Phelps would block back on the shade, the Mike linebacker would blitz, and he was getting Kellen in the backfield. Well, Coach Wider sees that. We go in at halftime. We go in there and make one adjustment, leave the lineman alone, pick up the Mike linebacker. When we run reverse, we'll block him, and Kellen will pop. We come out, then we get a 35-yard touchdown run on reverse. Yeah. So that backer goes to blitz. Jace doesn't block back. He blocks the Mike, and boom, we're off. And it's those things. And, look, they are phenomenal. Those guys put a lot of time in, and and look, it took a lot of keeping the kids engaged and positive and everything like that, trying to get through that stretch. But it's everybody's. We're all rowing in the same direction, and the team's excited, and we just want to keep building on it.
And a funny story about that play. The second time that little reverse didn't work, somebody yelled, "We've run that play twice. It doesn't work." Yeah. And then we come out that second half and it busts. I gave that kid a little bit of an earful for it.
No, that play will work.
Yeah,
most weeks. Yeah, you just got to pay attention. And yes, I mean it's a tough play, and but you just have to. You have to adjust, and it was one little thing. The linebacker was sitting there, and every time our center would block back on a big defensive lineman, he would blitz. So basically all we said was, don't block back on the big defensive lineman. He's not going to catch Kellen anyway. Block the Mike linebacker, and it'll pop. And it did. So, I mean, it's just one little adjustment. Mm-hmm. But the kids have to accept coaching, too. Jace has to understand, okay, we're asking him to do something different, and you got to do it. So
yeah. And I love that little story there because I was going to kind of bring that up. But let's talk about, the big play, the catch. A phenomenal play, a great picture on the angle, a great video from In Focus. Mm-hmm. There's only so much you can say about it. I don't want to talk about the play and the execution from Drew, although I love him and I could talk about it all day. I want to play a little devil's advocate. You say we are being ourselves and we get back to our roots. We threw that ball on 4th down when a field goal would put us up a touchdown and the defense goes make a stop. Where does that confidence come from? Because earlier in the game there was a deep ball to Drew, and it was a great throw, and he didn't come up with that one. Where did that confidence come from to make that play call?
Okay. So I believe the score at that time was 23-21.
Yeah.
First of all, I wasn't really worried about Henry County kicking a field goal to beat us.
Mm-hmm.
They would have had to have gotten all the way down, probably inside the 10-yard line to kick a field goal. Their kickers up okay. He's not the level of our kickers, but so I wasn't really worried about a field goal beating us. Secondly, the one we threw earlier to Jarrett, it's what we call our fast game. So the quarterback goes 1, 2, 3, throw. Well, if you watch Jarrett, we were throwing it from kind of out by midfield. Well, he goes 1, 2, 3, pump. Well, next thing you know, a 20-yard pass turns into a 40-yard pass because he's lifted receiving, which the further he runs away, the lower the completion percentage becomes. So when we called that play there, I knew it was going to force Jarrett to throw it quicker. And when we did it, it was 4th and 5. They were kind of making they were thinking run. I didn't really want to get sacked. So I said, let's just run our quick game again, and the quarterback won't get sacked, and we're going to force him to throw it earlier. And we got Drew. And sometimes, it's like I said, sometimes you just got to give your kids chances to make plays. And, it was really not really – I thought it was a pretty good call, but it's just one of those things. Take a chance. I thought the one before was a great ball by Jarrett again. We let him get a little bit too far downfield. We needed to throw it quicker, which he did on this one. But, yeah, it was – I don't know. It was just – we thought we had an advantage out there. Just let him go make a play. And if he didn't make it, we're still up 23-21. They've used all their timeouts. They've got to go 90 yards. And I've got confidence in our defense to keep them back there.
Yeah. And then I think everybody really wants is that celebration penalty. Was that Teddy?
No. I think I got one on Brady's. I got the one on Brady's interception. I think Coach Eldridge got the one on
Drew's
touchdown because he was running down the sideline at the top of his head. So look, we're human too, and
well at that point
we're
penalty,
human, and I'm just telling you. It's been rough.
Yeah.
When the expectations are great and everything like that, but look, when you're sitting there 0-3 and you lost 46-0 on Labor Day weekend, you do some soul searching.
Oh yeah.
As a coach, as a player, and everything like that, and
then
we sat there.
Yeah.
We sat there at that point in time, and we're like, hey, we're going to take it one game at a time, but we would love to be 4-4 going into fall break, and we got a shot.
Yeah. Well, listen, on the side, as an LSU football fan, it's great to see the coach have a little bit of emotion, and I think we take that penalty 100% of the time.
Well, I told the
Speaking
referees
from
they
a
got
fan.
it right.
Yeah.
I was out on the field. I shouldn't have been. It was all good.
Yeah. So much we missed from that game. That was just a game that really we could spend probably 3 of these dog things on. Amazing game.
The one thing that I will say is, look, they were a really good team.
Yeah, they were.
They were probably a little bit better than I was. And the thing about it was that was a hungry team that played really hard, had some really, really good athletes, 7, 23, 21. They had some linemen, 50 and 51, 36 and 22 and 60 at linebacker were just – and they wanted to win. And, they wanted to win, and our kids matched them, and, it was a really, really good win for our program.
Yeah, I think when you go into a enemy environment, all you got to do, especially if that game's a toss-up or a game where it's going to be an upset for you to win, you just got to put pressure on the opponent. They put it on us, and we weathered that storm. You can't ask for much better of a ball game as a fan. Or can you? Because this week we go to Shelby County, this is another trip to Shelbyville. Last time it didn't go so well. I think there's a little bit of a bleed over from that previous Collins game, but this is a rivalry in all sports, and now is officially a district rivalry in football. Is the juice there as much as it has been for these big matchups, or is this just business as usual?
Well, first of all, no. I mean, look, this is a district game against a rival. That's, again, they're in our district in football now, which is really good. And, we're a different team. I mean, I still think we would have played a lot better on the Friday night at Collins if we had played that night. But
We would have beat them.
well, but the thing about, we are a different team, and we will, we need to play better on the road. We need to get on the bus, go to a game, and play well, and get back, and have a fun bus ride home. And our kids are in a different place now, a better place, and I think we're ready for that challenge against a team that's very, they can make some plays and got a really, really good running back in the backfield that is a load. So
Yeah. So let's talk about that mental battle. What is the biggest worry there? If there's a specific aspect of our team, is it just the locker room as a whole? Where's that fear?
Well, I mean, the number one no, I think our kids will prepare well, and I think we generally always play pretty well going into fall break, and we usually play pretty well coming out of fall break. I think the key thing is they have a really good running back, and we just have to make sure that we're in tune with what's going on, and make sure you stay in your positions and everything like that, and try to do everything in your power to keep him from getting ahead of steam. We did really good with him last year. I think he had 90 yards rushing or something, or maybe 110 or something like that. But there's just things you have to do. You have to be disciplined. You can't get yourself out of position and let him get ahead of steam going, because then that becomes very difficult to get him on the ground, because if you let him get going and then all of a sudden he starts stiff arming people and stuff like that. But he's really good, but just gotta practice well and understand their formations, understand where they're trying to attack you, and just make sure you try to keep him boxed in to where he can't bounce stuff on you. 'Cause that's where it gets the problem. The problem is when he starts bouncing, he'll start up the middle and then start bouncing to the outside, and that's when you just got to make sure you maintain leverage on him and everything like that.
So I heard through the grapevine that their quarterback might have quit.
Well,
with the team.
yeah, I don't.
Does that affect them much, or is the run?
No, I mean, it affects them a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the quarterback, their quarterback that they had play last week against Western Hills was not doesn't throw the ball great, but he's a better runner. So I mean, they're a different team without the quarterback. So, but we'll see.
So obviously, if you can just guarantee that Kellen goes out there, rushes for the 500 yards or whatever he did last year, then we'd be in some pretty good situation. But realistically, you probably can't count on that type of game again. So what does Spencer County have to do to get that win over Shelby County this week?
We have to be very disciplined on defense and understand that number 5, I think, is what he is at home, and he wears number 7 on the road. But we have to understand that he is going to make some runs, and we just have to make sure that we limit those. Look, he runs on everybody. He ran for 180 on Franklin County. So look, he's going to get his runs. We just have to stay disciplined, leverage the football, get as many hats to the football as we can, not assume that somebody else is going to tackle him, and just limit those runs. We don't want a 15-yard run to turn into a 40-yard run, and then just multiple runs like that. But just kind of understanding, and our kids will know, understanding the formation, understanding how they're trying to attack us and everything like that. And but confidence is a funny thing too. I mean, when kids get confident, and our kids are confident now, and that's they're not overconfident, but all the lessons they've learned through the years is really paying dividends right now.
Mm-hmm. So every week we talk about the names, the specifics of guys who are going to have to step up. Last week you gave us Eric and Drew in the past game, and they made huge plays then. Who has to make the huge plays this Friday?
Well, we just one thing I will say, I said that we do sit there and talk about all of our skill guys. But I will say this: our offensive line has improved week in and week out.
Exponentially.
They've gotten better and better. And even as I said, when we lost to Franklin County 41-7, we could, as coaches, sit there and watch the film and see that there was improvement. It didn't show in the results like a win with the team. And the same thing on the defensive side. Those guys are pretty consistent, and they do the right thing. And our linebackers and everything, because sometimes I feel like we talk about skill guys and everything like that, but look, our guys up front, they will really battle you. And like Ian Blanford and Jacob Biller and Wyatt Lockard and Jacob Blancett and John Winstead and those guys, and then you got Nick and Keenan and Tanner and those guys. I mean, those guys really, those are the guys that lead your team, and they get up there and they make the plays. And earlier in the year when we were struggling, quite honestly, some of our struggles were because we weren't playing very well, in some of those areas. But now we are, and hey, those guys need to, they need to feel the love and everything like that. And we tell them, we do tell them all the time that that's one of the reasons why we're progressing as a team. So.
Mm-hmm. And, keys to victory, faces you got to know going into the week. And then, of course, the message to those fans.
Well, the other thing, we have to get the ball to our weapons. And, hey, I think Brody Phelps had 9 carries last week. That was huge. He averaged close to 4 yards a carry, which is great. Hey, we'll take that. We just have to continue to get Drew and Eric, and we just need kids to develop and just, need Jared to be steady. And look, if we have to throw it 6 times, we'll throw it 6 times. If we have to, but the one thing the efficiency throwing the ball, that's in an offense like ours, that's what we should be, because we run the ball so well. We should be 9 for 12, 9 for 14, 8 for 11, and all that. That's because if we can protect, the receivers are going to be wide open. You just got to get it to them. And we just need all the weapons, and just continue to develop. And I think the kids will have a great week. And Friday night, I think the weather's supposed to cool off a little bit, so it'll be kind of football weather. And heading into a fall break, and it would be huge for us to try to find a way to get to 4-4 going into fall break. Yeah. That would just be monumental for those kids to everything they battled through.
Absolutely. And then the message to the fans, a little bit more guided, is as we close up the season. We have 3 games left, and we head into the playoffs. It's been a season. It has been a roller coaster of a season. I think confidence all across the board in the program, it sounds like, and with the fans is pretty high right now. Mm-hmm. What is the message to ride this momentum into playoffs for them?
Well, I mean, it's awesome, and this is a big rivalry, and I know people are going on vacations for fall break and everything like that. But hey, it'll be a great time at Shelby County. It's a rivalry. Hopefully we can have, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Makes a difference in how, seeing all those fans. And I will like to say, having all the alumni out there the other night, and that was another special thing, 20 years of our football program. But no, the fans are needed. The students, we, love to have a huge student section, and also our district soccer tournament's getting kicked off this week, so hey, we need to make sure everybody gets there for our support our soccer teams. And our soccer district is very tough on both of them. That's rough. The thing about it is, I know our boys are playing tonight, and the thing about it is yes, I think we're the 4 or 5s. I think we might be the 5, but the thing about it is we could still win our district. We're talented enough that we could do that. And same thing with our girls. I mean, it's a really balanced field, and anybody can beat anybody. And I know our boys have probably dealt with some bad luck, so it's maybe some time for them to have some good luck too. And same thing with the girls. So hopefully everybody can support them.
May have to invite Mr. Barron back up. Don't want to turn this into a soccer coach show, but our district in soccer is really, really good.
No, it's really good.
I don't want to change subject too much,
no, it's really good.
It's really
Woodford,
good. All of them.
It's not
across the board.
It's no joke.
You beat our district. I mean, it's right after that, and the girls in the same way. I mean, that Anderson County game if we can, get to them. That's going to be an insane matchup. It
but
always is.
we need some support for everybody, and
Yeah.
it starts tonight, and then hopefully, like I said, we'll go into figure out a way to get into fall break on a positive note and stay healthy and everything, and get those guys rested up over fall break and finish the season strong. But yeah, having support in the stands, the community, the students, and everything like that, it's huge.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say to our football team, I know some of the guys actually watch this show. It has been an absolutely amazing ride, and we look forward to seeing what you guys can all do. To the viewers, thank you again for tuning in. You're probably on the YouTube right now, but head on over to the Instagram, schs.digitalden. And I cannot stress this enough, how excited we are for what we have planned coming back from fall break. So stay tuned. We hope you get a little bit, maybe a fraction of excited as we are. But again, thank you guys for tuning in to our coaches show. Thank you, Coach.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.